Good morning, everybody. I'm actually in my mother's car right now. I am picking her up from dialysis. She's on a holiday schedule, so she's going on different days. And it's been really crowded. You know, she gets weak from dialysis. So, and I'm using her car because her walker fits better in the car. Anyway, from one of the last videos, I think my last wig video, I was gonna state why I haven't really been in lives commenting, and why I haven't made a lot of videos is because I've been having a lot of caregiver duties. My aunt and uncle now live close to me, which is what I wanted. Make sure the garage is closed. I wanted them to live closer to me so that way I can get to them if anything emergency, medical, anything was needed. So on December 9th, I took my mom in to get her chest poured out because she had a new fistula put in. You wait a month, make sure the fistula is working right, and then they take the chest poured out. So that same day, I wasn't feeling good. Oh, corgi. Hi. I like the corgis. Sorry. And I went to urgent care, and the doctor looked at my throat. She was like, "Your throat is angry. It's on fire." So I go home that evening. I watch my Kingdom Hall meeting from Zoom because I don't want to go to meeting feeling like crap. And then I get a call from my cousin that lives out here because their only remaining child lives in another state. And she said, "Hey, Auntie was at the local hospital. She had an impaction and bad hernia." I said, "Oh my God." And my uncle can't drive. He unfortunately has neuropathy in his legs, could be Agent Orange from Vietnam. He did 2 terms in Nam. He was on a couple of places where the Agent Orange hit, so he's working on that. So he can't drive. My aunt drove herself in, coming to find out she had been feeling bad for a month. Don't ever let yourself go a month. She was in extreme pain. So by the next day, they had emergency hernia surgery on her. In the meantime, because she drove herself to ER, I had to go. Me, my mom, and my uncle had to get their car, take it to their house. Then take it to their house. This is on that Thursday. And then later on that day, she was discharged from the hospital, got her home. So a week goes by, doing pretty good. Then Friday comes, and my uncle calls, and he says, "Hey, can you take your auntie to an appointment?" It was her follow-up appointment for the hernia surgery. I said, "Yeah." "When is it?" By this time, it's 9 a.m. on Friday. And I had missed his 2 calls as I was in the kitchen making breakfast because 3 days a week I work from home. And it's 9 a.m. and he goes, "She has to be there at 11. So it's the same day. I go, "Oh, okay." So I said, let me check my calendar while I got him on the phone. I emailed my boss, let them know that, I said I'm a caregiver for my mom, my aunt, and my uncle. Because my other cousin lives far away, like 80 miles away. And they said, "Go ahead, take her, what you gotta do, take vacation time." I get there. I said I'll have to be there at 11. I said I'll be there by 10. It doesn't take that long to get to the hospital. I get to their house around 9:50 in the morning. And so I'm sitting there talking to my uncle. In my peripheral, I see my aunt in the bedroom sitting there. I don't know what she's doing, but she's sitting there. So by this time, it's 10:50 in the morning. 10:23. I said, "Auntie," I said, we gotta go. We gotta go. "Okay." She goes, "Okay, let me get up and smoke a cigarette." I said, Auntie, we don't have time for a cigarette. It's going to take 30 minutes as it is. We're going to get there around 11:08, 11:09. She takes about 5-10 more minutes to come out. I said, what's going on with her, you guys? She walked out. I could tell immediately that she had a stroke. The left side of her face was drooped. Her hand was like this, and she couldn't hardly walk. But we noticed that her comprehension was off because she could not tell the way she looked. She didn't understand. She didn't have a comprehension of time. And me and my uncle's eyes got really big, and he said she was not walking like that earlier. And I said, okay, I'm gonna get the car. You get her. She's still trying to get outside, smoke a cigarette. So I said, we gotta go. And we already were going to see a doctor, not her normal doctor, not her normal hospital, at the emergency hospital she had for the post-op. So I start putting stuff in the car. I get back. She's at their island, and my uncle like snatches the cigarette out of her hand. Why you snatch the cigarette out of her hand? She grumpy. He said, we have to go. We don't have time for you to smoke a cigarette. So we get her in the car. We're able to get her in the car, in the back seat. And I looked at him. I said, I'm going to have the doctor do a clock test on her. We already know it's a stroke, but so we get her to this doctor, and this doctor is basically like, you need to get her to ER. So we get her down to ER, and now I'm trying to find us a place to park. These people don't never park right. Sorry. So we get her down to ER, and that's kind of tight. We get her down to ER, and I had to tell the nurse, hey, my uncle, he can't walk, and my aunt is showing signs of a stroke, and we need some help. So they get the wheelchair out. We go in here, and the nurses are very nice. And I know the ER people, because my aunt looks kind of normal, and so everybody, all the other patients, is like, why she get to go in early? So they put her back there real fast, and then so the nurse is, can you raise your left hand? And then my aunt's kind of slow, and she's like, no, and I'm just gonna wait here for my mama. I don't think nobody needs to come out. He's coming out good. And so the nurse is real cool. She was so cool, she sounded like a regular page person. So she clicks the thing, and she's like, code stroke, ER ambulance bay, code stroke, ER ambulance bay. And so me and my uncle kind of laughed, because she was just like so cool about it, And so they get her back there. Fantastic. African American doctor comes out. Very sweet, very nice. And they get my aunt into a room. So a day, and a regular doctor's appointment or post-op appointment that should have took about 2 to 3 hours with travel turned into a 12-hour day. 12-hour day. And get her there. They do CT scan. They haven't done MRI yet, but they said her carotids were blocked, left and right side, one at 90, one at 100%. She had multiple mini strokes for a few days, because they asked her if she had a headache. She said, I had one last night around 8 p.m. I think she had a headache probably a few days before, because she really didn't have any concept of time. They asked her, was today, it was December 18th. They said, what year is it? She said 1925. And she said December 20th, 1925. I said, okay. So by this time, they gave her some aspirin. Gave her some aspirin. What time is it? Gave her some aspirin, 4 aspirins. They did a chew test on her. And the aspirins, you know, it's to thin the blood. And her legs start getting a little better. This stopped kind of drooping. And she was able to have movement. From what I know, so the next day, they put her in, they already admitted her, but then they finally get her in a regular room. And she's there. I'm talking to my cousin the day before, and she's like, well, she's like, I'm gonna have the end of the month off. I could come and stay. I said she has a daughter. So my cousin contacted her daughter, and her daughter's now out here. Of course, you know, love my aunt. But it's going to be, unfortunately, more care. So her daughter's out here being her advocate. She's going to hopefully get caregiver services for her mom and her dad, because my uncle's good, but he just can't drive anymore. So my cousin said, you saved her life twice in 1 month. Because she had went a month with that hernia. She got herself to ER, but I was able, you know, to do the after stuff, check on my uncle, make sure he was okay. And then I do have a little bit of medical background. I was in like a nursing psych tech program when I was younger, and there are a lot of things you don't forget. And right away, I just knew stroke, and they said, you saved her life. Because she just would have continually kept stroking, she would have died. She would have died. So, that's why you haven't been seeing me make a lot of videos. I've been in the garden, doing little stuff, checking on my chickens, doing what I got to do, but I haven't really been able to record because I've just been busy. And also have to take care of my job. That's another reason why we called her daughter. We're like, she's going to have to come out here because we both still work. We both still have lives. So, that is the update as to why you have not been seeing me create a lot of videos and things of that nature. Hopefully, I will get back to it sometime this week. But yeah, that is that's what's going on. So, also, if you don't know, Pescatarian Gardener's mom passed away. She just posted a video. And also, so when I left the hospital, I was almost about to end the video. When I left the hospital Saturday night, I got home and my brother called me and he's like, hey, do you know what's going on with Uncle? And I'm like, no, I know he had a stroke or a heart attack a few months back. And he said, well, he was sick and a lot of people didn't know. And my uncle on my dad's side, this uncle that I help, that lives around the corner from me, and this uncle I'm telling you about, my favorite uncles, they're like the coolest dudes. And so he said he had emergency surgery. They found a tumor and it did not go well. And my uncle passed away. They took him off of life support on Sunday. So it's just been a lot. Very devastating, because I mean, all of my cousins were just like, and of course their children, because my aunt and uncle has 2 kids, and they're devastated. They're devastated right now, and I could only imagine what they're going through right now. So it's just been a lot going on. Check on your elderly relatives. Check on them. That's a reason why I wanted there's my mom, my aunt and uncle to live close to me so I can get to them. But as I always say, please find peace within yourself and be peaceable with everyone. I love you all. Bye.